Welcome back, guys. Said I would do a flight today, so I already preloaded most of it. I think passenger to boarding. Let me see here. Yeah, so passenger to boarding is now 7:19 local time. Flight departs at 7:35 local time. So what is that one? 16 minutes before departure. It's Air France 1680 non-stop service from Paris to London Heathrow. All right. It is a hour and 25-minute flight. We're cruising at 24,000 feet. And one thing I forgot to check was the weather. Jeez. 1 second. It was just raining in Paris. I know I've seen it raining. Alright, so yeah, right now it's winds 350 at 10. Rain. Alright, so it's nothing crazy. Okay. I want to see something about this weather in London. London weather looks to be can't think straight. Ads. Okay. London weather seems to be okay, but I just wanted to double check the meaning. Okay, it's 4. Yeah, alright, so 22 degrees, 300, winds 320 at 9, 6 miles visibility, and ceiling is at 12,000. Alright. That is all great. Alright, go ahead and cut on this APU. Let's throw an auto APU on. Let's wait for that to boot up. Our departure today is going to be on runway 26 right. And the instrument departure that we'll be using, I think, is a Opal 5E. 5 Echo. That's in. Heathrow, we're doing ILS 27 left with this Ali C1H arrival. Alright. The APU is clicking on. Alright. Let's go back to the overhead. It's available. We can turn on the APU bleed. With that being said, off goes external power. We don't need it anymore. Let's go over to the tablet, ground services. GPU gone. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that either. Alright. So now we wait for the weights. Passengers. So we have 104 of 162 passengers so far. Okay. So in the meantime, though, let's check out these departures. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is import the route and open up Charles de Gaulle. Departure. Oh. And we said we were leaving on the Opale, correct? A second now. Alright, so Opale. I wish these were just in alphabetical order the way you would think they are. But sometimes you got more than one departure on one chart. So you really got to read the entire name. Alright, here we go. You said Opale 5E. Alright. So takeoff 26 left. Then we will head to PG 264, PG 265, and then we will make a right turn to the north to the Bobai I2 VOR, and then from there to Opale. Seems easy enough. Alright. Initial climb 10,000 feet for jets. Pilots of turbojet aircraft have to follow the initial climb with the sharpest precision practicable until reaching 11 miles from PGS or 6,000 feet, whichever the earlier, except for safety or control reasons. So PGS is on the field. For 10 miles or 6,000 feet. 11 miles, sorry, 6,000 feet. Okay. Sounds doable to me. Alright, so we have 126 of 162, so we're almost done. And I have 24,000 in there already. Let's go ahead and put 10,000, since that's what it was asking for. We can contact clearance.
De Gaulle Ground Air France 1009er IFR to Heathrow, ready to copy.
Air France 1009er is cleared to Heathrow Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 26 right climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.7 squawk tree 112.
Alright.
Air France 1009er cleared to Heathrow Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 26 right climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 125.7 squawk tree 112.
So 11,000 is cool.
1009er read back correct. Contact ground on 121.61. Good day.
Alright, so we can do the cockpit preparation checklist. Batteries are on. External power, you don't need it. APU, engine, fire test. Can I still do them even though APU is on? Sure can. APU is on, crew supply is on, ADIRs are on nav, no smoking signs are on auto, nav lights are on, emergency lights are on, annunciator light test, looks good to me. Probe and window heat, auto. Anti-ice is off. Air condition. Alright, let's bring it down some. Okay. So, ACU and brake pressure. reach that here. There it is, right there. Alright, it's in the green. And ECAM status. Should have just left it down here, huh? ECAM status is normal. ECAM recall. It's good. The radio panels are on. Thing I do is turn on the PCAS to auto. Let me check to see if the boarding is complete. 148 or 162. Okay, so we're almost there. And something we can get now is ATIS.
De Gaulle Airport information, Quebec 0500 Zulu. Wind tree 49er at 10. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, 10,100 feet, scattered ceiling 14,100 feet overcast. Temperature, 24. 2.10. Altimeter, 29.97. ILS runway 26 left, ILS runway 26 right, ILS runway 27 left, and ILS runway 27 right in use. Landing and departing runway 26 left, runway 26 right, runway 27 left, and runway 27 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Quebec.
Quebec.
De Gaulle Airport information, Quebec.
We have Quebec. Alright. I'm gonna go in this video and clear out the message that I have and accept it. At 157 of 162, so we're almost done boarding. We have 4 minutes to push from the gate. So reserve fuel weight right now is 130.3. I wonder if it'll make it to 131. One more person. Alright, boarding is complete. Nope, did not make it to 131. So 130.7, 30.5. 130.7/30.5. How much fuel did we take on? 11,612, so 11.6. 11.6. Okay. Then we can go ahead and call for the pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Alright, let's switch apps and get our V speeds. Alright, so it was raining previously. Not now, but I'm sure the runway is wet. And we're taking off on 26 right. We can sync the load sheet.
Okay, sir. The
Flaps
bypass
2,
pin is
flaps
installed.
on.
All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
Sync the weather.
Standing by for pushback.
Calculate. Alright, so 133, 144, 147. 133, 144, 147. I think the flex temperature was 68. So 3 notches down. 2/trim down 0.3. Alright, that's entered. Alright, we have 1 minute to push. Alright, so everything is clear. Although that truck is into the wing, who cares? Alright. We got the before start checklist. Go ahead and let them push us.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
Alright, so
We are cleared for start and
windows
push.
and doors are closed and locked.
Okay,
APU is
clear
on.
for push
APU
start.
breathe is on. External power is
Parking brakes
disconnected.
are released.
Fuel pumps are on. Seatbelt
Commencing
signs are
pushback.
on.
You can
Clutch
start the engines
levers
in sequence.
You
are
will start in the
idle.
sequence.
Barrel reference. Let's check that bad boy. 2997, right? 2997. Yep, 2997. That's checked. Fuel quantity 11.6 checked. Takeoff data, we just set that and reviewed it. Transponder is on auto. Beacons lights are on. Ignition mode selector. On ignition start. And we are cleared for number 2. Alright. Go ahead and throw a little turn in that push. A hard left turn there. Could be a real peaceful flight, I would hope.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Alright, parking brake.
Parking
is
brake set. Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has
Number
been
2
removed.
is
See you at the
stabilized.
side. Have a good flight.
Starting number 1.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Don't work that way, alright. Alright, number 1 is stable. So after start checklist, parking brake is on, engine mode selector on normal, APU bleed off. APU off. Auto brakes max. Right there, flaps 2. Spoilers on. And pitch trim down 0.3. So 1, 2, 3. That's set. Flight controls. You can get that there. So full left turn, full right turn, neutral, up, neutral, down, neutral, full left rudder, neutral, full right rudder, neutral, anti-ice, we don't need it, flight instruments, autopilot is set, everything looks good, and takeoff config, which should be normal. Alright, it's normal. Let's go ahead and get the taxi clearance.
De Gaulle ground Air France 1009er with Quebec ready to taxi IFR.
Air France 1009er taxi to and hold short of runway 26 right via taxiway Tango Echo Tree Romeo Romeo 1. Contact tower on 119.25 when ready.
Alright, we'll contact tower when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 26 right using taxiway Tango Echo Tree Romeo Romeo 1 Air France 1009er.
Alright, so parking brake release. Add a little thrust. We're going to 26 right, so that's going to be a left turn from the K gates. Alright, can't see anything from that view. Left is clear. Oh, add a little thrust to the turn, alright. So from here we should have a complete straightaway until we have to make a right turn, go towards the runway. But now we have another message. I'll just let it roll. Excuse me. Accept that. Alright. Alright, so the next thing on the checklist is before takeoff. I was going to say, you can't really see any clouds, but you can. The straight ahead looks really cloudy compared to everywhere else. Keep in mind, it's like 7 in the game, it's like 7:30 in the morning, so starting to slow down a bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of power and just keep it in. Let me adjust my chair, hold on. Alright, that's better. As we taxi, I'm just going to double check a couple things, make sure. Turn off the bright lights, don't really need them. Don't really need a taxi light bay. We're doing like 16, 17 knots on the taxi, that's cool. I like to keep it around 15. We already did the takeoff config, so yeah, we are good. We are good. Sometimes it's hard to keep this thing straight. Be here. Alright, so our turn should be the next one. The next turn. Alright, the runway is right ahead of. Alright, so cabin crew. This is the before takeoff check. Oh, and that button. Cabin crew has been advised. Brake temperature. Hit the wheel button. I'm just going to come to a stop to check this. Alright, wheel temperature. Everything's in the green. Brake fans are off. Engine mode selector is on normal. Weather radar is off. PAX is required. Ensure is on auto. TCAS. TARA. Stereo lights. Alright, the last thing I need to do is turn on the exterior lights.
De Gaulle Tower Air France 1009er at runway 26 right, ready for departure IFR to Heathrow.
Air France 1009er altimeter 29er.9er, 7 wind tree, 59er at 12. Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right.
Exterior lights on.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right, Air France 1009er.
Takeoff memo, there's no blue, it's all green. Alright, so we are good to go. Alright, I advanced throttle to 50% N1. Get back some. I'll actually come to a stop this time. Alright, power to 50%. Spooling. Alright. Takeoff, man flex, SRS, runway. Check. And keep alive. Take a lot of left rudder here. 80 knots. 100 knots. 1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Right.
Air France 1009er contact Paris Center on 125.7. Good day.
Going to 125.7 Air France 1009er.
That was smooth. Flying thrust. Over the nose. Let's start to accelerate. Alright, so flaps 1. Still having trouble trying to get that taxi light off. Like trying to find that sweet spot on the mouse. There we go. Taxi light off. Flaps up. Alright. hit the autopilot. To go back to the app. You see that we're on the departure now. So when we get to PG 265, we'll hit our right turn and go direct to the BOV VRR. We have a solid climb too, 4,300 feet per minute. Alright, transition altitude. Alright, after takeoff, landing gear retracted, engine mode selector normal. Spoilers are disarmed, flaps are retracted, packs are on, anti-ice as required, exterior lights to check. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the exterior lights. Alright. Alright, so here's the right turn. Solid 30-degree turn at that too. Alright, so we're about to make it to 11,000.
Paris Center Air France 1009er is passing 10,600 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Air France 1009er Paris Center altimeter 29.997, continue to Bravo Oscar Victor as planned.
I'm just going to continue to 24, flight level 240. Alright, so we are right on course. Those beautiful fluffy clouds in England. London is honestly less than a half an hour away. It's only about 170 to 180 miles. Let's see. What does the computer say?
Air France
184.
Please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
I'm not going back down. Facebook is jumping right now. Facebook is jumping. Alright. Overhead looks good, nothing standing out that looks alarming, so. Alright, so now we'll just climb to 240.
Air France 1009er, please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
Good deal, good deal. Alright, 17.5 for 24. Alright, so while she climbs, we can go ahead and start planning our arrival.
Air France 1009er, please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
Not. Alright, so we did, it began with an A, I remember that. Alright, I'm looking at Paris. Go to Heathrow. Arrival. This is Alitho 1 Hotel. Alright, so coming off Alitho on 314 course. Rotno, Etvax, Tiger, that Levy, LLE01, okay. And then we need to hold at the big VOR, we'll hold the big VOR. And there goes Heathrow there in the gray circle. Seems simple enough. Pilots should plan for possible descent clearance as follows. 7,000. Okay. Let's double check those are constraints in the computer. Alright, so at ETVAX 18. Keep hitting the wrong button. I don't even see ETVAX.
Air France 1009er, please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
Alright, so Aliso, Rotno, ETVAX. So, Aliso, Rotno, alright, there goes ETVAX. Alright, that was weird. And then at the big VOR, big VOR, right? Yeah, the big VOR, 7,000 feet, 220 knots. Alright, that's already in there.
Air France 1009er, please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
Enter destination data. Okay. So go back over to the iPad. Let us get the weather for... Refresh that one more time. Save. Alright, so 320 at 7. 10:16. Alright, so... looks perfectly fine. Okay, 320 at 7, 10, 16. What was the temperature?
Air France 1009er, please expedite your descent 11,000 feet.
22. And also we can look at the approach. ILS 27 right. No, back. 27 left. I don't think we need to do Cat 2 or 3. Alright, so our minimum today is 277. Alright. 277. You know what?
Air France 1009er,
put 200 in. This is radio. Alright, so to brief the approach, let's do that. Alright, so we have the ILS DME or localizer DME, runway 27 left.
Air France 1009er descend and maintain flight level 200.
I refuse. Okay, never mind. Sorry. So 2,500 feet at the final approach.
Air
I
France
can get that out.
1009er acknowledged last transmission.
Alright, I got you, man. I got you.
Descend and maintain flight level 200, Air France 1009er.
Not. Alright. Airport elevation 83, runway elevation is 77. Decision height is 277. Alright. Runway will have PAPIs and high intensity. Landing
Air
line.
France 1009er contact Paris Center on 126.475. Good day.
Alright, let's contact them.
126.475 for Air France
Alright, let's approach,
1009er.
climb straight ahead and passing basically 2,000 feet or 0 miles or over the ILLVOR, whichever is later. Climbing left turn, track 147 to 2,000. Then passing 6 miles from London. Climb without delay to 3,000, then is directed in event. Okay. Chances of me doing the missed approach is next to none, but okay. Alright, so we're about 50 miles from our top of descent. Told you this would be a quick one. And we have 57 minutes before we need to pull into the gate. Alright, so approach has been briefed, weather has been briefed, everything looks good. One thing I don't really, is that ETP? Is that what that says? ETP, okay. One second. One thing I thought we had to be, that's Manchester an hour. If we decide to not go to London, Manchester's our alternate. Jesus. Arrival. Why can't I get this out? I'm so lost. Oh, it's ATVAX. ATVAX, sorry. The ATVAX is supposed to be 18. Alright. I knew something didn't look right. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with this? Oh, but it's in there already. Okay. No constraint to it. But it's in there. Jacked up on main view. Alright, we'll be descending in about 30 miles. This here. I couldn't do this every day. So laid back. So laid back. Obviously every flight's not going to be uneventful and calm, which we'll hope for, but it's so much idle time. And I see why people could fall asleep. So much detail. Alright, we'll be descending in about 20 miles. There really isn't anything else for me to do right now. You know what? It is daytime. I'll turn off these lights. Floodlight off. Main panel and pedestal light off. Alright. We are good. Down to 8,000 pounds of fuel, that should be alright. The airport is about 80 miles out. 80 miles out. Alright, so I'll keep the approach chart up. Oh, that should probably be okay. I'll keep the approach chart up, because we'll be coming by Aliso pretty soon. So no, we already passed Aliso. Is that correct? What am I looking at here? Yeah, we passed Aliso. So why don't I see myself on this approach? That's weird. That's definitely weird. Wow. Because we should be... Oh, it says not to scale. That's why. So Aliso's actually a little bit off the chart. Alright, so I'm like, we should be on the... There we go. It had me, threw me for a loop for a second. I'm like, what the... Alright, time to descend. What are we descending to? I forgot to look. We could set in 3,000 just to be safe, and I'll go back and check the approach. Alright, so the approach said we will be descending down to a whopping, it was 25. Somebody told me it was 25. Oh, this thing again. Oh man. So if I remember correctly, in order to get that view, I had to look over here, turn my head this way, 2500 dialed in. We need more drag. Extend the spoilers. There they go. Help slow the plane down. Alright, hopefully we don't really need them anymore. Bring them up and rearm them. We can put the TCAS below since we are descending. Alright, we are on profile. Here. My friends are funny. My friends are funny. They are clowning me about a vest I used to wear at my job. Here. My friends are stupid. Alright, so we're at 18,000 at VAX. Perfect. That did a good job on crossing that fix at the right altitude. Now we're going down to 7,000 at big. I was supposed to contact somebody.
London Center Air France 1009er is passing 17,400 feet, climbing flight level 200.
I'm not climbing.
Air France 1009er London Center altimeter 29.9er 8 continue to Tiger as planned.
Tiger, yep, that's where I'm going.
Air France 1009er descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
8,000? I can do that.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet, Air France 1009er.
Let's do one more weather check. No, we did jump over. One more weather check just to be safe. Refresh that thing. Oh, it did change a little bit. Nothing crazy though. 3306. Pull that chart back up. And we need the Alito on arrival. Alright. So when we cross this LLE01 should be at 250 knots. And we are at 280. So I wonder if it's going to raise the nose to try and slow me down, because I'm doing about 280 right now. Now we less than 5 miles. It ain't even trying to go for it. I suppose I can assist it by slowing down. That's crazy.
Airfence 1009er, you are tree 4 miles southeast. Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway 27 left approach via Bravo India Golf transition. Clear to Bravo India Golf.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway 27 left approach via Bravo India Golf transition.
Somehow it adjusted at the last minute to 250. So we're doing 250.
1009er contact approach on 1.498. Good day.
And we just been handed off to approach. I'm not thinking what approach is it?
1009er.
Probably London approach or something crazy. We're 30 miles from the airport and then cleared at 7,000.
Approach Airfence 1009er is at 10,200 feet,
Oh,
descending
drive.
7,000 feet.
Airfence 1009er approach altimeter tree 0.00. Continue to Bravo India Golf as planned.
Alright, so we're going to big VOR. Alright, retract the spoilers. We're in the clouds. We are in the clouds. Coming up on big, we'll be at 7,000 feet when we cross big. Alright, so probably like 25 miles from the airport. We are done with this approach. Basically, we're not doing the hold, so I'll switch over to the ILS 27 left.
Airfence 1009er, keep speed not above 180 knots.
Oh, they want me to slow down.
Keep speed not above 180 knots. Airfence 1009er.
Go ahead and throw that into approach mode. That automatically slow the plane down for me. So I think it's going to try and hold the green dot speed. And they want me to hold 180. So I'll go ahead and set that. In the speed. Alright. I'll also give it some speed brake, help slow it down. Alright. And it's looking like in order to do 180, I need to introduce some flaps. So flaps 1. I think London is off to the side there. Yeah, there goes London. Alright, we just hit transition altitude. I will turn on the APU and the landing lights. I will retract the spoilers. I still need to slow down. I will extend the spoilers. I wonder why it's having such a hard time to slow down. I'm not descending fast at all. 15 miles from the airport. What are you doing? Alright.
Air France 1009er climb and maintain 6,000 feet.
6,000? Not happening.
Air France 1009er, please acknowledge.
I'll acknowledge, but I'm not doing it. Alright, so we're turning final
Climb
now.
and maintain 6,000 feet, Air France 1009er.
Air France 1009er climb and maintain
Go ahead and hit the
3,500
ILS
feet.
button. Alright, glide slope and localizer is alive. I'll hit the approach button for now. I can see the runway in front of us. Alright,
Air
I
France
will.
1009er, did you copy?
I did, but hold on.
Climb and maintain 3,500
I'm alright, how are you,
feet, Air
BWR
France
flight?
1009er.
I'm just about to land.
Air France 1009er climb and maintain 3,000 feet.
Alright. We're not going to 3,000, but we can do our before landing checklist. Cabin crew survived.
2,500.
They are advised. Landing gear.
Air France
Down.
1009er, acknowledge last transmission.
Flaps.
Climb and maintain 3,000
Not
feet,
climbing.
Air France 1009er.
Flaps 2.
Air France 1009er, you are 8 miles east of Heathrow. Contact tower on 124 decimal for 75 when inbound on the approach.
Flaps full. To acknowledge that.
Tower on 124 decimal 475, Air France 1009er.
BWI, do you fly Flight Simulator at all? Alright, so back to this checklist. Spoilers are armed. Auto brake, we can go for medium. Engine mode selector as required. Stereo lights are checked. Go around altitude was 2800 actually. Whoa. That is set. And ECAM memo, no blue. We have no blue, so we are good to go. Approach speed is about 137. Alright. Get nestled in here. And then I'll disconnect the autopilot.
1,000.
Right. My airplane. I love ILS approaches. Even though it's not really an ILS approach, but just the fact that you have the guidance there, it's a wonderful thing. It makes life so much simpler. I'm dropping a little bit below.
$500.
Alright, 500. Follow the path of the ILS. Alright.
$100 above.
Up. Now we're high. I'm gonna go ahead and idle it.
Minimum.
Add a little power.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Woo. This one. First thrust set. gentlemen, welcome to London. What the time is, I don't know, but we're pulling into the gate. There's a high speed right there. Oh, the turn. The turn. We're gonna cut it early. The interesting upslope right there. I believe our gate actually is like right in front of us there. Alright, since there's no traffic, I'm going to stop here. And after landing checklist, flaps up, brake fans as required. Do we need them? Do we need the brake fans? No, we do not need the brake fans. So exterior lights. AF1681, I swore. TCAS off, spoilers on, flaps up. Alright, engine mode selector on normal, anti-ice is off, TCAS standby, weather radar off, predicted wind shear off, and I just started the APU. Alright, so if I hit V, that should pull up a little map, correct? Alright, there we go. And I just want to make sure that I'm taxiing to the right area. So let's apply some power. And get it rolling again. I believe I'm supposed to go straight ahead. Let's take a look. See, that looks about right. Alright, let's take this map off. Can't get the view to be right. Alright. 5 is what I was looking for. I turned the taxi lights off. Good. Alright, let's get her in the parking spot. Give it a boost in power just to help the turn. Alright, that should be. We'll move up just a little bit more. Alright, let's check one thing. Alright. Kill the engines. Alright, let's go to the tablet. Get our ground equipment set up. Chox cone, GPU. Cut to overhead. Area power. Turn the APU off. One thing I forgot to do is cover that way. Okay, so we are at the gate parked. Welcome to London. So what time is it? We got here very early. It is 7:30 local time. And from the looks of it, we were supposed to get here at 8 o'clock. But yeah, because of no traffic, it took us a lot faster than it was supposed to. What is it, 1680? And looking at the return leg, the 1681 leaves at 9 o'clock. And it's 7:30 now. Okay, that's cool. We got a lot of time. Might as well wait it out. What I could probably do is watch some YouTube or something. Yeah, let's do that. So, let's hit the browser. There's nothing on the browser? Or there was something on the browser. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let's see, AF447.
What's the time in Paris? It was the last text I had.
1:35 a.m. Flight 447 makes final radio contact with Brazilian air traffic control.
Your traffic, my friend. Okay.
The plane leaves Brazilian airspace and now flies into a radar dark spot in the middle of the Atlantic. The aircraft will be out of radar contact until it comes within range of Senegalese air traffic control.
It was right in the middle of the big gap, in the middle of the ocean. And it was at a point where it was handing off between Brazil and Senegal. Most people don't realize that communications over the oceans are actually pretty spotty. And in this case, they were extremely spotty.
3:45 a.m. 2.5 hours after leaving Brazilian air control, Flight 447 still hasn't appeared on the radar screens in Dakar.
They were slow to recognize, first of all, that the aircraft had gone missing. Senegal didn't sound the alarm very quickly.
A search and rescue operation is scrambled to the last known position of the missing aircraft. In Paris, families and friends gather to meet the flight at Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Waiting for the aircraft flight 447.
Corinne Soulas is at home, expecting her daughter to phone. But it is Caroline's father-in-law who rings.
I receive a call asking me which was the number of the flight because he has heard on the TV or on the radio that the plane has disappeared. And I didn't know that. So I began to be afraid. And when I saw every text on the TV or hearing the radio, I became folle, comment on dit? Mad. I became mad.
Caroline's father, Robert, was working abroad when he heard the news.
After I was alone on the earth, it was a great moment of loneliness. I couldn't imagine the loss of Caroline. It was not possible.
Within hours of the disappearance, Air France makes an announcement.
This is a catastrophe, undoubtedly, and we have lost an aircraft with 228 people on board.
Flight 447 has seemingly vanished. No mayday, no trace on radar, no witnesses, and no sign of wreckage.
Clues to what happened to Flight 447 are frustratingly few.
There was so little information available initially. Did the aircraft just go missing? Has it actually crashed? Where was the wreckage?
The crew showed no sign of alarm because if they were seriously alarmed by something, they'd have made an emergency call to air traffic control, but they didn't.
And the fact that there was no distress signal, what does that say to you?
It could be, dare I say, a bomb or something like that.
First thing people think about now, post-2001, is terrorist attack.
When French intelligence officers check the passenger list, they spot names they suspect are linked to radical Islamic organizations. Only the wreckage could confirm or disprove the bomb theory, but they cannot pinpoint where the plane went down.
The difficulties for Air France 447 were huge. Firstly, the aircraft crashed in an area where there was no radar coverage, so it was not possible to locate where it had hit the sea. So the search area was enormous. They were looking over an area of 17,000 square kilometers.
On June the 6th, 5 days after Flight 447 disappeared, fragments of wreckage, along with 50 bodies, are discovered approximately 600 miles off the coast of Brazil. The find rules out a bomb. The plane was in one piece when it hit the water.
The fact that the bodies that were found floating on the water came from many parts of the aircraft, as when they were identified, gives some indication that the aircraft was intact and the people were still inside it when it struck the water.
But if an explosion didn't down Flight 447, what did?
How can such a sophisticated, expensive machine have such a large, profound loss of life?
There was a very strong hunger and need to know why it happened, both for the families and also for future safety.
With over 600 Airbus A330s in daily service worldwide, it's vital to find out what caused the crash. The answers could lie in the plane's black boxes, but they are lost 2.5 miles down on the seabed.
I want to know exactly why my daughter died. The reason why.
French investigators need to discover why a state-of-the-art Airbus A330 has crashed off the coast of Brazil. They believe the missing flight data black boxes can solve the mystery.
It was possible that we would never find the black boxes, and certainly there have been accidents in the past where the black boxes have never been found.
A French nuclear submarine is enlisted to join the search. It can pick up the ultrasonic signals transmitted by the black boxes.
You have a 30-day lifespan on the underwater locator beacon, and the terrain at the bottom of the sea was very mountainous. If you can imagine, the seabed rises and falls by a huge amount, varying between, I think it was around 900 meters down to more than 4,000 meters depth.
30 days pass with no success. The team now send mini-subs down to scour the seabed.
We're the crucial piece, which is, of course, why Incredible amounts of time and treasure were spent by the French government and others. Many assisted trying to find these things, and it was an extraordinary search effort.
But after almost 2 years, one of the greatest underwater searches in maritime history, costing over £25 million, draws a blank. Just as it seems the mystery of what downed Flight 447 would never be solved, the French investigators turned to the American team that located the wreck of the Titanic in 1985. Then, on the 2nd of April 2011, the dive team find the shattered fuselage, 13,000 feet down on the seabed. They also find 104 bodies, many still strapped in their seats.
Quite a few of our families were literally kind of on tenterhooks waiting for a call as to whether their loved ones have been found. And for families that then kept the call saying, sorry, we haven't found it, their hopes have been raised up, then dashed again.
74 bodies remain missing, including that of Caroline Soulas.
It was a nightmare, a new nightmare for a lot of families.
But deep under the Atlantic, the divers are still searching the wreckage. Until, at last, they find what they are looking for, the black boxes.
When they did find them, it changed everything, because now we started really getting a clear picture.
The families and friends of the 228 people who died now have a chance to find out what really caused the crash. The black box data will unravel the precise sequence of events that led to the loss of the aircraft. The actual recordings have not been publicly released, but actors will read a transcript documenting the final, terrifying minutes leading up to the crash.
Je crois qu'on va à une vitesse de fou là. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Remonte, 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 remonte!
Flight 447 leaves Rio and heads north, following the east coast of Brazil. In charge of the plane is Captain Marc Dubois, aged 58, with almost 11,000 flying hours under his belt. The second pilot is 37-year-old David Robert, who's clocked up over 6,500 hours. The third pilot is Pierre-Cédric Bonin, whose wife is also on tonight's flight. Age 32, Bonin, with just under 3,000 flying hours, is the least experienced member of the crew. Bonin is sitting in the cockpit's right-hand seat. His captain, Dubois, is sitting on the left. Robert is taking the regulation sleep break in the small cabin to the rear of the cockpit. Dinner service is over, and the cabin lights have been dimmed. The plane is due to reach Paris in 8 hours' time, and many passengers will now try and grab a few hours' sleep. Things also seem relaxed in the cockpit.
Tout va bien?
Tout va bene.
Tout va bien? Pas de café, de thé?
Tout va bien. Ça ira. À tout à l'heure.
Merci.
They're making radio calls, passing position reports to air traffic control. It's all pretty quiet. In the middle of the Atlantic, in the middle of the night, there's not much to do.
Captain Dubois is a veteran of the Rio-Paris route and points out an upcoming landmark to his junior first officer, Bonin.
C'est l'Équateur. Tu avais compris, je suppose. Non, je m'en doutais.
As they approach the equator, they will enter an area called the Intertropical Convergence Zone.
For aviators, that area is famous for creating convective weather or thunderstorms. It was generating some really interesting and severe areas of weather the night of the crash of Air France 447.
Michael de Villiers has analyzed the weather patterns on the night of the crash.
What it shows there is the areas that were forecast on the significant weather chart where there would be thunder activity, quite a few around. Thunderstorms are probably the most dangerous form of weather. It's strong updrafts and downdrafts. It can knock the aircraft around, can also cause structural damage if a thunderstorm is severe enough. You get icing, you get the hail, you get lightning, which can also damage an aircraft.
Massive cumulonimbus storm clouds can extend upwards to 50,000 feet, too high for commercial planes to fly over.
Sometimes you've really got to think about which route you're going to take and which headings you're going to take up to try and avoid them.
But Captain Dubois seems unconcerned, and Flight 447 stays on course.
On va pas se laisser emmerder par des cumulus quand même.
Navigating around storm clouds it's not demanding. You look at them, if they're in front of you, you turn left or turn right and you fly round them. I mean, this is not difficult stuff.
But several other flights crossing the zone that night do decide to divert around the storm.
Neige. 209 nœuds. Il y a un truc droit devant, et il y en a un autre derrière. Hein? Oh merde, non. Je baisse un peu la lumière intérieure pour voir dehors. Ouais. J'allume les feux pour voir. Ah voilà. Quoi? On dirait qu'on va rentrer dans la zone nuageuse.
1:51 a.m. Now the dimmed cockpit is suddenly lit up.
Ah ben manquait plus que ça. C'est quoi ça? C'est tout ce qu'il nous fallait, monsieur de Saint-Elme.
Veteran pilot Dubois recognizes the bright flashes as St. Elmo's fire, a spectacular electrical phenomenon common in the tropics.
There were a number of unusual things that started to happen. There was apparently a blue glow that was St. Elmo's fire, and that projects a very odd and eerie light into the cockpit.
The St. Elmo's fire was just a discharge on the windscreen. It's heavily charged ice pellets hit the windscreen and they discharge electricity out, so you get these patterns going up the window.
J'avais pas l'impression qu'il allait y avoir de l'orage. Il va y avoir des turbulences quand j'irai dormir.
David Robert, who was having a break in the small cabin at the rear of the cockpit, will shortly swap places with Captain Dubois.
Bon, bah y a plus qu'à le réveiller, hein, c'est ça?
Before Robert arrives, Captain Dubois wants to establish who's going to fly the plane while he's on his break.
Ouais, c'est qui le pose? C'est toi? Bon, il va prendre ma place.
This means Bonin, with the least amount of flying hours on his record, will pilot the plane until the captain returns.
If a captain is going on the break, you would have thought that the priority would have been to have the most experienced person in charge of the aircraft and sitting in the appropriate seat.
T'as dormi? Moyen. T'as pas dormi? Il a dit moyen. Bon, allez, je me casse. Bon, ça va. Bon, les petites turbulences qu'on vient d'avoir, tu vas aller même après?
I did find it interesting that for what I thought we were certainly the most busiest part of the flight in terms of weather avoidance, that the captain decided to take rest for that. I would have thought that would be the bit the captain would want to stay for.
The decision he made, in his mind, he was quite happy with it. In hindsight, us looking at it, maybe it wasn't the best decision.
Minutes after Captain Dubois leaves the flight deck, the weather deteriorates.
On va les appeler à la veille pour leur dire.
Oui?
Oui, Madeline, c'est Pierre devant. Dis-moi, dans 2 minutes, on devrait passer une zone où ça devrait bouger un peu plus. Il faudra vous méfier.
D'accord. On s'assoit alors?
Ouais, je pense que ça serait pas mal. Je te rappelle dès qu'on est sorti de là. Vache, heureusement Donc c'est de mettre au 130, hein? C'est clair. Moins 42 degrés.
Robert suggests changing course to avoid the storm clouds.
Tu veux pas tirer un peu plus sur la gauche, là? Excuse-moi? J'ai dit tu veux pas un peu plus tirer sur la gauche?
As Bonin steers the plane 12 degrees to the left, a sharp, chlorine-like smell spreads through the cockpit.
T'as touché la clim. J'ai rien touché du tout. Si c'est pas la clim, c'est quoi cette odeur? C'est l'ozone.
Robert, who's flown many trips across the tropics, instantly recognizes the strange smell. But it seems to startle his younger colleague.
C'est quoi ça? C'est un rapport avec la FIT? Non. L'ozone, c'est de l'air chargé d'électricité. Non. Ah non, d'accord.
There were unusual smells in the cockpit. There were electrical disturbances and electrical phenomena around St. Elmo's fire and so on. So there are many things that can contribute to degraded pilot performance.
2:10 a.m. A loud sound is heard in the cockpit. Experts analyzing the black box tape believe it's the sound of ice crystals hitting the aircraft. Then, an alarm is triggered. The alarm warns the crew that the autopilot has shut down and handed control back to them.
What's up, man? How you doing?
J'ai les commandes. D'accord.
Bonin is sitting in the right-hand seat and takes manual control of the plane. His more experienced colleague, Robert, is now effectively co-pilot. What the crew don't realize is that the plummeting temperature has caused ice to block 3 vital sensors, called pitos.
The pitot system, which basically detects the speed of the air against the aircraft, ended up becoming blocked. Therefore, that effectively dropped to 0 and they lost all speed indication.
The aeroplane, while it's in autopilot, suddenly said, we know we're getting rubbish information here. We cannot deal with rubbish information, therefore we're going to trip the autopilot out and hand it back to the pilots. This is where they start earning their money.
But it's not an emergency. It just means that there is no forward speed information. In theory, when the ice melts, the pitot sensors will work again.
The drill is do nothing. Literally, just fly the aircraft, continue to fly it straight and level, leave the power where it is, because it's been working pretty well for you up until this point.
If the crews touch nothing, the aircraft will remain fairly stable while they sort themselves out and get the aircraft into a safe flight configuration.
It's crazy.
In the case of Air France 447, there was almost an immediate reaction by the pilot flying, and that actually made the situation worse.
We will absolutely never know why the pilot responded in the way that he did.
Air France Flight 447 has flown into a storm, and its speed sensors have cut out. The plane's autopilot is shut down, handing control of the aircraft back to the flight crew. The captain is on a sleep break. First Officer Bonin is now flying the plane manually.
My man was knocked out.
His fellow officer, David Robert, with many more flight hours experience, is handling radio comms.
J'ai les commandes. D'accord.
Bonin controls the plane with a side stick.
He had the side stick in his right hand, and he just yanked it backwards.
In layman's terms, what the pilot flying did was pull back on the control stick, which caused a change in the pitch attitude to go nose up, causing the aircraft to climb.
The black box data confirms why Bonin wanted the plane to climb.
The aircraft instruments showed a loss of altitude of 400 feet or so.
But when the speed sensors froze up, the instrument displays gave the pilots false readings of their speed and altitude.
Nuts. Crazy, crazy,
It
crazy.
was not an actual loss of altitude. It was only instrumental. It was false. It was wrong.
Ça n'affiche pas la bonne vitesse. On a perdu la vitesse, c'est ça?
You've got to rely on your instruments, and of course if your instruments are now faulty or telling you wrong information, then it's difficult to know where to take that, because you train to rely on these things.
Bonin decides to trust the instruments. He pulls back the stick, and the plane starts to rise.
The aircraft will go up quite rapidly. In fact, at one point it's climbing at 7,000 feet a minute, which is a very high rate of climb at that altitude.
Because he was going uphill into very thin air that the aircraft couldn't be supported by while it was at its weight, the aircraft started slowing down, just like if you leave your foot on the accelerator of a car and it starts to go up a hill, it will slow down unless you give it more gas. So this airplane was slowing down.
Now, another alarm rings out.
Take a look at this.
A stall warning.
I recently just
A stall
landed in
happens
London.
When the aircraft
and,
is going too slowly for the wings to produce sufficient lift, and therefore the aircraft starts to drop. It starts to fall.
I'm parked at the gate.
Stops flying, starts falling.
To
prevent the plane falling, Bonin needs to act quickly.
Alright, so yeah, I'm parked at the gate.
When the stall warning occurred,
You see, it looks pretty real, right? Nah, yeah, I was watching a documentary. I'm waiting for trying to think. I'm waiting for the next flight to board. So I was watching a documentary in between.
But Bonin doesn't put the nose down. He keeps the stick back.
I mean, it's real enough, even though it doesn't look. I mean, just take a look at it. Let's see, can I go through any other view?
That they didn't believe that the aircraft was stalled.
The black box records show that one of the 3 speed sensors that had
Yeah, you can go and cycle through different things. This looks real enough compared to what it looked like back in the day. This is like groundbreaking. I've never seen it look this real in my life.
Now, some new sensors come back in with valid information that didn't look valid because everything else was so totally messed up.
Fais attention à ta vitesse. Fais attention à ta vitesse. Ok, je vous laisse. Stabilise. Ouais.
And that's really where things went from a very benign circumstance to a rapidly escalating, out of control circumstance.
Robert presses the crew call button. He wants to get Captain Dubois back from his break and onto the flight deck. But there's no answer. Air France 447 is now 7 miles above the sea and still climbing.
Once you're going up very, very fast, the speed is decaying very, very rapidly. If you kept pulling back, then you'd increase the rate of climb to a point, and the speed would decay until you got towards the point where the aircraft stalled. And then everything changes very dramatically.
Now, at nearly 38,000 feet, Flight 447 starts to drop.
Wild. That is crazy.
C'est quoi là? Je crois qu'on va trop vite.
Just under a minute after he was first called, Captain Dubois returns to the cockpit, taking the jump seat behind the younger officers.
Bon, qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Qu'est-ce que vous foutez?
What the bloody hell are you doing?
Je sais pas ce qui se passe. contrôle de l'avion. On a totalement perdu le contrôle de l'avion. On comprend rien. On a tout tenté.
When the captain emerged onto the flight deck, that was a point at which a fresh set of eyes could have made sense of what was actually going on, and there was still time to recover the aircraft.
There wasn't any conversation about here's what happened and here how we got into it.
I think it would be very difficult for somebody just walking straight onto a flight deck to suddenly instantly determine, oh, you are in a deep stall descending at 10,000 feet a minute with a high nose attitude, you need to do this.
10,000 feet a minute is a lot. That is crazy.
The variometer, the instrument that measures the vertical speed of the aircraft, has stopped working.
If they were like 30-something thousand feet, that means they fell for like 3.5 minutes before they crashed.
Indications of things, and they were trying to make sense of what was reliable and what the aeroplane was actually doing. So they were struggling to know what you could believe and what you couldn't believe.
Because Bonnat is still pulling the stick back, the nose is up and the plane is stalling.
Je crois qu'on va à une vitesse de fou là. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
He thinks the plane is going too fast and moves to put on the air brakes.
At that point, that's absolutely the wrong thing to do. The problem already was going too slow and not having enough lift. The speed brakes would have made that worse.
David Robert rapidly overrules the man flying the plane.
Non, non, surtout sors pas les freins. Non? Ok. Les sors pas.
The aircraft now falls to below 30,000 feet, but they still have time to recover the situation.
If they had stuck the aircraft's nose down and applied a decent amount of power, they could have recovered completely from the stall and, with an undamaged aeroplane, resumed the flight.
Robert now takes over control of the plane without issuing the customary verbal acknowledgement. But he doesn't realize that Bonnat is still pushing back on his stick, and the crew concentrate on getting the wings straight rather than powering the plane downwards out of the stall.
It's crazy, the thing is saying stall. It's saying stall.
They didn't understand what was happening to the airplane. They didn't have it. The picture they had in their head of what was going on was so confused that the actions they took, which they hoped would recover the airplane, were absolutely the wrong actions.
On tire, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? Qu'est-ce que t'en penses? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Je sais pas.
They were suddenly faced with something they'd never experienced before.
It's crazy.
And
the man said it's going down.
Moment of
why
complete
would
shock.
You not?
And known as the startle effect. A lot of things were happening all at the same time.
Try to
quite know exactly
put the nose down to recover from the stall. It's saying stall. Wait a minute, I said no, you're climbing? But you know, this is impossible, so...
We'll never know what was going on actually in the heads of those pilots. All we know is that they were confused. Exactly what picture they had of what was going on, we'll never know.
The stall alarm, having rung 58 times, now cuts out.
The computer stopped telling the pilots that the aircraft was stalled because it had gone into realms that the computer just didn't recognize.
The computers have switched off. They've said, sorry, there's no information here that I can work with, so I'm out.
The ocean is now just 20,000 feet below the rapidly descending plane.
The aircraft went down that way with an average rate of descent of 10,000 to 15,000 feet a minute. That is quite a lot.
Yes.
And that means there was an awful noise.
The aerodynamic noise was terrific because there was so much turbulence being generated by the wings.
Robert thinks he is flying the plane, but doesn't seem to realize that Bonin is still pulling back on his stick and still keeping the nose of the plane up.
Attends, moi j'ai les commandes. C'est moi qui ai les commandes, non?
It certainly appears
Does it say dual inputs?
there was a breakdown of the discipline and communication with it on that flight day.
Ça y est, on va arriver au niveau centre.
They're flying through, they saw flight level 100, which is 10,000 feet. I think that was a point where we went from, we have some time to figure this thing out, to like, we might not be able to save ourselves.
Got 1
This
minute.
aircraft was falling out of the sky like a stone. It was absolutely not flying. It was falling. And it was falling with its nose pointed upwards.
Remonte, 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 remonte. Je garde à fond là depuis tout à l'heure.
Captain Dubois now gets the vital information. He realizes Bonin has been pulling back on the stick, pushing the nose up and stalling the aircraft.
Crazy.
To get out of the stall, Robert knows he must get the nose of the plane pointing downwards.
Alors donne-moi les commandes. À moi les commandes. Vas-y, fais les commandes. Attention, tu cabres. Je cabre, je cabre. Je cabre. Là, il faudrait là. On est à 4000 pieds. Tu cabres là.
Crazy.
The aircraft was mushing down like that, nose in the air, and it was mushing down through the sky like that.
As they near 2,000 feet, the aircraft's ground proximity warning system detects the ocean below, and a new warning sounds.
Pull up! Pull up! Sink rate. Pull up! Pull up!
Allez, on tire. On tire, on tire, on tire.
Pull up!
On va taper.
Pull up!
Mais c'est pas vrai.
Pull up!
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? 10 degrés d'assiette.
The recording stops at 02 hours, 14 minutes, 28.4 seconds. "228 people died on Air France Flight 447. The crash also shattered the lives of families and friends. Sebastian Vedovati and Caroline Soulas met in 2003 on an Air France flight to San Francisco.
That's crazy. They met on the Air France flight to San Francisco.
6 years later, they died on Air France 447.
That's crazy.
I love this picture because we can see their rings. And I've got the same ring. They were in love with each other.
Her parents, Robert and Corinne, often visit the memorial dedicated to the passengers and crew located in Père Lachaise Cemetery. Their daughter has no grave. Her body was never found.
That's crazy.
And the problem is also that they were a couple. Sebastian's body has been retrieved and Caroline no. So it means that they are separated now forever. I hope she didn't feel anything before the impact, before the crash, I hope. I'm not sure of this.
One of the questions that I get asked is, did my father, husband, son, brother, sister know anything about what happened?
The hardest one for me was talking to the family of a young boy who was coming back from being with his grandmother in Rio. And they only asked me one question: did he suffer?
A mother asked me, so would my daughter have known about this? Because a lot of friends had told me that she wouldn't have known anything. She wouldn't have been conscious. And I felt obliged to tell the truth, which was, I'm afraid, in my view, I think she was certainly been alive throughout the 3.5-minute descent. She may well have been asleep. I would hope she was asleep, but it would have been a bumpy, uncontrolled descent, and so she may well have known
woken up
about it.
Right. Woken up like what
At
the
a press
fuck?
conference in Paris,
Terrified.
Air France
Complete
robustly defended
terrified.
their pilots and acknowledged the dedication of all 12 aircrew who died in the disaster.
C'est dans un environnement de pilotage extrêmement dégradé que l'équipage, qui rassemblait à la fois les compétences du commandant de bord et des deux copilotes, est resté engagé jusqu'au bout et jusqu'aux derniers instants.
You have to go back and say, so 3 experienced pilots, qualified pilots, and between them they couldn't figure out what was wrong with their airplane and why it was flying into the ocean. That's a system failure. That's not a pilot failure.
A report by the BEA, the French Safety Investigation Agency, found that the disaster was the result of both technical and human factors that started when the AF447 speed sensors, called pitos, malfunctioned.
That's that, but that's the gist of it, man. They stalled the plane for 3.5 minutes from like 35,000 feet or something crazy like that, and it crashed. Crazy, 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 crazy. Alright, so while we wait here for the turn leg, I think it's supposed to leave at 9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock, so we basically got like 43 minutes. 43 minutes, okay, so what we can do is start to prepare for that. Alright, so first thing I would do in this case is, already got the browser up, hop over to SimBrief. We can do Air France 1681 BGLL Paris LFPG. I don't know what LFRG is. Look that up. Takeoff 27 left. We can arrive on 26 left. Yeah, that makes sense. So maxi and the bed. Alright, so we can go in, how high? Let's go 25. Alright, so generate flight. Then go to Sim. And we can start with the CDU. And download the flight. 25,000 feet is what we're going to cruise at. One thing I forgot to do. Alright, look at what the cost index is going to be. 50. The cost index is 50. And we are AFR 1681. I think we're departing 27 left. What was that departure again? Oh my god. Memory shot. Maxi 1G. But I don't even see Max, right? Yeah. Well, not paying. Yeah, there it is. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, and we are arriving 26 left. That one there. Alright, jump over to this bad boy. And import the next flight. We're supposed to be leaving at 0800. No, that's wrong. We are in Europe, so Zulu time is the time. That's not right either. It's 8:15. Tough. What happens if I put in it's supposed to be 8 o'clock. Yeah, Zulu time. Still Zulu time regardless. And it's off by an hour. Okay. Man, I just mind fucked myself. Alright. Got 117 passengers. It's gonna take 20 minutes to board them. Okay. Put down the one. Alright. No. Alright, so 20 minutes. We're not leaving for another 40 minutes or so? Yeah, 43 minutes. Alright, so we got that part of it done. We can actually go back to the browser and watch some more videos. I got a compilation. I don't like the way this is set up. Okay.
I can turn anything into pillow. Those words, bam! Now pillow. Dog, cat, steak, gold, football man, movie stars.
My man was screaming, okay. He said anytime, any place, any weather.
Mire, qué hermoso, ¿qué es esto? Bueno, es un P11, la verdad.
Yeah, that was a late turn. No. But he flexed though, he made it.
Minimums.
Dang, that's the angle they came at the runway from. Woo!
Bank angle, bank angle. 50. Bank angle, bank angle.
That's crazy.
20. Bank angle, bank angle.
That is nuts. Wasn't that Oshkosh?
Yeah.
Damn. Yep. That was at Oshkosh. And that was this year. That just happened like last week. Up to the ground loop after the touchdown. This one was at Oshkosh too. I remember this. He floated for a while. Crazy.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth, and never need a dentist again.
Oh.
People are fixing their receding gums.
It was secure. Always them doing some sketchy shit, boy. Fuck that. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy. That is kind of rocky, man. At first it didn't look too bad, but I'm like, yeah, the wing's going up that high. Yeah, that's whoa.
All this from the ground. Support vehicles in the vicinity of the Arcus on CBC. Unit to handle.
That's crazy. Plane sitting there parked, about to take off by itself. Took the wind.
Mas se eles deixarem cada vai ficar ruim. Sim,
That's cool. Dang, it did all four of them. Look at me, look at that picture right there says it all. Look at that. They always put them at the very beginning. Look at it. It's almost like the last one we saw. Oh, he actually went through? Hold on. I thought It nearly missed. My man went through the fence. My man went through the fence. God dang. That is crazy. Oh. Damn. Oh, shit. At least they lived. Damn. He came in hot, too. That was pretty. John's so full of it, man. They should have kept him. Oh, he's floating. Or is this like for display? There's no way he was trying to really land. Are they doing it by hand? That's crazy. They hopped out. Like, we gonna push it ourselves. That is crazy. Let's see. Oh, we got to go back quite a bit, huh? I thought that was like a turbo car at first. Good race car. Dang, you can't even see nothing. Alright. Came out of the mist. That was smooth. Not like a smooth touchdown, but smooth recovery. Where was that at?
Slightly more right turn towards an elevator. I got a jet off to the right that appears to be turning, so we're gonna get some exhaust here. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna smell real nice. Do we have Timothy Tiny Turns up there? We'll have to find out. Yeah, Tiny Turns is on the catapult usually. Yeah, that's true. Again, the left turn setting us up for catapult 1. We, up front, are now crossing the JBD. Here is our wakeboard person. Wakeboard person should be showing us at 54000. I see it, I like it. I like it. That's for sure, 4.5. Oh yeah! Real good.
Damn. got launched into 140 knots.
Up. Shifted. Up. 3. High, no factor. Up inside.
Why do you still overrun? Damn. Woo!
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want.
In the meantime, I'm gonna.
You can have really relaxed, slow-paced stuff where you can take it easy.
20 minutes.
Or you could be on the edge of your seat, shaking, making split-second decisions. This is Eve. You know, it's a crazy universe where anything can happen. And
how do you jump on the wing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stop. You're coming forward. They're going to have to exit the wing from the wing exit.
How can you jump? How do you climb the wing?
More so that you can come with the more right. Okay, now turn right. Turn right. Okay. Turn right, you see the runway? Turn right, turn right, turn right. That way is the opposite. Okay. 500. Okay. Yeah, be careful. Don't worry.
Bank angle.
Bank angle check.
Bank angle.
Yeah.
Sink rate. Hold it up. Hold up.
It's
Sink rate.
unstabilized approach. It's all over the place. Didn't they slam into the ground?
30, 20.
Damn. Didn't they slam into the ground? They are happy that they made it. They said, fuck the fact that we almost crashed.
Oh, that shadow. Yep, yeah, that was on purpose. He nailed it. He looks like he's like 3 feet off the ground. Oh my god.
They're awfully close. They touched down at about the same time. That's wild. Just out there popping willies, and he's still holding it. That's dope. That's dope as hell.
Stop being so nice to women. Nice will never equal turned on or attracted to you. I know you want women to be what?
where he did it. Oh, right there. Okay. I was like, what are they talking about? That's pretty good. Didn't know they brought a 350. The ugliest planes I've ever seen, man. I just can't rock with it. Just can't. Oh, man. This is me in GTA. I definitely mean GTA. That's cool. Oh shit! Damn!
Join the coolest online action game and control classic aircraft as they conquer the skies. Plans from the Republic of Sky Pirates clash for dominance above the soaring rocks.
Damn. This is very again. Burnt to a crisp. Did that get rolled off? Damn. I figured as much. Whose plane was that? Star Alliance. That was so close. He had the yank in.
Pull up. Checken naar toe, dat is ons wat lekker. Je zag gewoon een spoel van je af. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Dat is hij. Pull up. Maar draai. Pull up. Pull up. Zeker af. Pull up. En ik zie een flapje. Pull up.
And I was going up. That's cool. Like, follow me. All right.
So you want to be a pilot?
No. Okay, so we got 70 people boarded. I'll go ahead and start the APU. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Going to, I forgot this thing here. Oh Lord. I wonder if it's still stuck on that, so let me try 4. Look over. Alright, so 7. Try 25,000. Alright, we have that set. Then go back to the tablet, sync the route. Normandy. I've never heard of that. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so Heathrow to be our departure briefing. So we are departing at the Maxi. I remember that. Our departure. So we're doing the Maxit 1 Gulf. Basically, you take off, hold the heading, slight left turn, 5.5 from the London VOR, hit another turn to 161, and then you have different constraints with DME points. Seems simple enough. Transition altitude is 6,000. When instructed, contact limit control after takeoff. Port. Excuse me. What does C/S mean? I don't even know. It designated current altitude. Course. Why would they say? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it seems easy enough. It's basically take off, whole heading. Doesn't really say how far out. And then a left turn at 240 to your 5.5 to London VOR then. Alright, yeah, seems simple enough. Alright. Straight ahead, intercept London R240 with 5.5 London, turn left, intercept 161. Yeah, basically the same thing I said without using all the words, since we got pictures. But yeah, easy enough. Easy enough. Apps. 96 of 117. APU is on, right? APU bleed. Disconnect the external power. Man. Alright, so 1681. Turn flight to hour and 25 minutes. Flight level 250. And You know what? How much time do we have before departure? Oops. 3. 16 minutes. We got 16 minutes. I gave you guys a better view, but my bad. My bad.
Going like a road runner, full speed, hot, so good, make you wanna take a bow.
Damn. Crazy.
A lot of pitches.
Max C919. Isn't that the Asian? Yeah, it is. That's cool. That's cool as hell.
Imagine a world where potty training is fun, fast, and easy. Only pull-ups have Disney graphics that fade when wet to teach big kids to stay dry. So they're motivated to keep the music going.
I'm a big kid now.
Aerosecure. Aerosecure? Aerosecure. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Aerosecure. Secure. Look at this guy. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Damn. That's wild. I'd be pissed if you dropped my car. What are they doing, like towing it? Concord. Concord. Let's jump back into the cockpit. Boarding is complete. Alright, cockpit. Alright, so we're fully boarded. Zero fuel weight 121.4. Max zero fuel weight 28.8. So 121.4, 28.8. 121.4 slash 28.8. And fuel, we got 12 flat. That'll work for fuel. Then we can jump back over to the departures page. Departure performance, sorry. We are leaving on 27 left. Sync that. Load sheet, sync the weather, calculate. Alright, so 27:30, 68 up 1. So 127, 127, no, 130, 130, 68, 2/UP 0.1. On the train, so we're leaving at 9 o'clock. About 5 minutes. Alright, we can go ahead and hit the beacon. For the most part, we are ready. Lock the door. Alright. Get ready to call the pushback on that. Alright, so for start, just have to wait to do that. Let me call these people.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Last leg of the day. I don't know what to say. Let me adjust my seat cushion. Or you know what? I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick. Hold on.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. Standing by for pushback.
Alright. So, let's go first, right?
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Alright. Brakes released.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Oh. What do I do? Alright, before start, Windows doors closed, APU is on, APU bleed is on, external power disconnected, fuel pumps are on, seatbelts are on. Thrust reversers are idle. Barrel reference 3003. Okay, that's fine. Let's start to put a little turn in there. Fuel quantity was 11. I remember that. Checked. Takeoff data is set and reviewed. Transponder still on auto. I never took it off. Beacon light is on. Engine mode selector to ignition start and master switch 1, 2. Sorry.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Brake set.
Parking brake set. Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
And let's wait for engine number 2 to stabilize. In the meanwhile, we can clear the company messages. And build an arrival message. Accept that. And accept that one. Alright, engine 2 is available. Engine 1. Master on. Engine 1 is available. After start checklist, park and brake is on. Engine mode selected normal. APU bleed about to be off. APU is off. Flight controls. Left. Neutral. Right. Ooh. Neutral. Down. Neutral. Up. Neutral for left rudder, neutral for right rudder, neutral pitch trim 0.1 up, right? So there. Flaps 2. Anti-ice is required. Flight instruments are checked. Takeoff config. Took forever for the flaps to get there, but alright. No, and auto brake. Missed that one. Sport on. Alright. Let me do this again. Alright, let's taxi to the active. One thing about London, it's a big airport, but I like it because it's fairly simple. Paris is fairly simple as well, but it's just a matter of all them damn taxiways and all them different terminals. London is just like, everything is parallel. You just go out to the runway you want. You make the left or the right, and you follow it all the way down. You ain't got all the extra turns, and I can appreciate that. Alright. Oh, that's doing 20. Go down to 9. Alright. Kilo Bravo. That looks nice. Alright, so already got the range set, everything is there. Whatever's in that race car just turned out in front of me. Did the winds change? But that windsock is looking very suspect. Let's see. 3606, okay. It's coming completely from the side. This should be fairly easy, fairly simple. No issues, no hiccups, I would hope. Go back to the nav charts. Alright. I believe I am very light. Alright. We are at 27 left. Alright, so checklist ready. Before takeoff, cabin crew advice, brake temperature. In the green. Ready to leave off. Alright, brake fans are off. You touch the engine mode. Selector is required. Packs are on. Weather radar, not using it. Predictive wind shears on auto. TCAS. TARA, exterior lights. And then light, taxi light. ECAM memo, no blue. I don't know why I just didn't go back to this view. Yep, no blue. And that is the before takeoff checklist. Alright, we're gonna do a rolling takeoff this time. Go ahead and power at 50. Takeoff, Manflex, SRS, runway. Airspeed's alive. 80 knots. Knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Well, we could climb. Let's go. Taxi light off. Spoiler disarmed. Climb thrust. Autopilot on. Alright, so we're making that turn. We're starting to make that turn to 5.5 DME. 5.5 nautical miles from the London VOR on a 240 course. Flaps up. Alright, transition altitude to 6,000. But we are climbing, so after takeoff checklist, landing gear is retracted. Engine mode selectors on normal. Spoilers are disarmed and retracted. Flaps are retracted. Packs are on. Anti-ice as required. Exterior lights are checked. I'll turn them off when we get to, we're at 6,000 now. But did we stay at 6,000? What's going on? Yeah. We gotta stay at 6,000. That's crazy. Alright, so we just stay and cruise at 6,000 for now. Alright, so we're coming up on max it. And I think max it's the one that we have to be at 6,000 for. And then after we pass max it, we can go on to 25. Yep. Climbing at 47, 5,000 feet from it right now. So landing lights off. Landing lights off. After start checklist is complete. Alright, so we climb up to 25,000. And we are already less than, we're about a half an hour out. Half an hour or so. Just say 45 minutes from Paris. We can go ahead and get the weather. Three 606 clear and visibility. Okay, alright, so nothing's really changed. We go ahead and enter that into this now. Whoa. 3, 6. 19 degrees, 10, 15 on the 2 and 8, 200 feet. We're at 17.5 for 25. Overhead look good, system look good, no problems. Everything's in the green. About to cross the pond. Alright. These flights be so short. Spend more time taxiing around the airport than you do the actual flight. $23 for 25, 2,000 more feet. $500 away from 25,000. All right, we are at 25,000. Flight level 250. Hitting every button but the one I need to. Alright. So let's go ahead and take a, oh man, not again. Take a look at this arrival. Are we doing Keepy or Tinny? I can't remember. It's probably Tinny. I don't remember. No, we're doing Biba. I was completely off. Biba. Bibba. The 9E or 9 whiskey. Bibba D. 9D. So, Bibba 9D. 5 back. Alright, so 9D. Which one is 9D? This is 9E. So I think 9D is the one that, yeah, it looks like a DME arc. And there's Paris down there. Okay. So we come in from the 178 radio, going towards Biba 1. We go to Biba 2, Biba 3, Biba 4. So at Biba, I need to be at 240 or lower, and 250 on the knot. How far is Biba? Biba's like 35 miles. Alright. Do we have a constraint in from Biba? Was it 280 or 250? 25. Oops. So we can adjust this to 250, and everything else is pretty good. Alright. The wind is crazy, 57 knot wind from the side. Flying at an angle. Something else I wanted to see. So, cruise center, I don't have much time. Probably at like 30 to 25 miles right now. Pending flights. It's pending, I can't open anything about it, huh? Alright. Dang, that went fast. I'm less than 5 miles out. Alright, so send down to 3,000. Alright, top of descent. We are heading down. Now we need to increase the drag. We were only at cruise for what, 10 minutes, if that? It's crazy though. It's telling me I need to increase the drag, but why doesn't it just idle out my throttle? Has me holding 39% or 38%. Yeah, bring that shit down. I guess it's dropping anyway, so. caught up. Turning down the Biba. See, our buyback. Does that thing really look like a DME arc? I mean, it really doesn't. Wait, it has me going on a 1.5 or 1.6. Let's see. Yeah, it's taking me to 9E. Am I doing 9E or 9D? I'm so confused. Yeah, I'm doing 9D. Maybe I put the wrong one in the computer? Let's see. Rival. $26 left. How do I go back? You're not allowing me to change this. I don't like that. Alright, let's try this again. Arrival. Let's try this. Let's try Arrival. ILS 26 left. Biba 9D. Alright, it's saying insert heading track first. Yeah, I think I put in the wrong. So I definitely can make some adjustments here. To 1. And I can go direct to Biba 1. Alright. Maybe we should go to Biba 2. Yep, we're going to 2. 1. Sorry. Direct to Biba 2. Insert that. And we should be good. Yeah, I went to the wrong Biba. So... I'm gonna go ahead and then activate approach mode. Just to help slow myself down and keep myself slow. Alright, and pull these spoilers back out. By 0 on the speed, I'll speed up just a little bit more. Want from me playing? Oh, just speed brakes. Left them out too long. Alright. Right. We got a company message here. Let's see what I'm looking for. A company message here. Alright, so we are currently coming around this arc. Course to holding by ATC, expect radar vectoring. Alright. And then for now, we can look at the approach. That's basically what we're coming up on now. Excuse me. ILS 26 left. So we're gonna need vectors, right? So I'll probably just vector myself. Alright. 26 left, not RNAV. 26 left. What, 4,000 feet? About to cross 10,000. Turning on a, I think, a very long base leg. I'm gonna shallow out my descent. Maybe like 300 feet per minute. Yeah, I'm still about 180 miles away from the airport. You know what? This will work. 4,000. We can hold 10K. Yeah, let's hold 10K until we get the green dot back on the VNav. So we'll hold 10K till we get the green dot back, and that way we'll kill some time too. We're basically on a very long downwind. And let's see, by very long, I mean 103 mile downwind. That works. Alright, so we'll step away for 1 second. We just hold here, 10,000 feet, 250 knots on this 100 mile downwind for now. Be right back. Good timing. That was very good timing. Alright, we still haven't crossed that green dot, which is good, but we are at our top of descent again. Alright, so from the looks of it, we got about 5 miles. I'll go ahead and adjust this down to 4,000 like it wanted me to. Switch back over here. This is the approach chart. Alright. Now it's time to go down again. Now can now adjust my speed. Alright, so we're still in that downwind, basically. But now instead of 100 miles, we are, what's that, 62? 52. Alright. There really isn't much that we can do right now, but just slowly descend. What are we descending at? Like 500 feet per minute. So it's going to be a very slow descent, but we're only at 9,500 for 4,000, so. Let's take a look at the 8 cars, 34 minutes. Yeah. $8,600. Slowly getting there. Transition out to 5,000 feet. Let's see, should be on this chart. Yep, turns out 5,000. All kinds of stuff on my mustache, weird. everything is basically done. Approach briefed. Arrival. I mean, it's ILS, localizer runway 26 left. Airport elevation is 392, runway elevation is 317. Decision height is 200, which is 517 in this case. Final approach fix is at 4,000 feet, which is 11.6 from the PGS VOR. So I will dial in, or I already have dialed in 4,000 into the autopilot. So we'll just hold 4,000. We'll send down and hold 4,000 whenever we get there, and turn straight on in, land 26 left, and taxi to the K gates, which I think is Terminal 2E. It's right on the same side as 26 left, so it should really work out. If we need to go around and do a misapproach, we have to climb straight ahead to 4,000 to Papa Golf 442, continue to Papa Golf 433 at 4,000 as directed. So basically, climb straight, stay runway heading, get to 4,000, make a right turn 315 when I get to PG 442. Simple. When I get to the Mopar VOR, just do a left hand hold. Alright. Let's get an update on the weather. Change apps. Weather completely shifted. 010 at 9, and it's rain. Okay. I don't think it's too late to make that adjustment, so go down here, arrival, ILS 8, right. Right. That'll still put me on the same 9D. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in a really messed up area right now. We're basically like I'm right at the airport basically. Yeah, look at that right there. So I think realistically I would have made a left turn, not a right, but it's all good. Well, that's 20-mile range, so I think if I hold like 210 or somewhere around here, we just need to send on the 4,000. We are high. That's 5 miles. So what I'll do with a teardrop, I'll cross over. My man Dukes is on. Shoot him a message real quick. I'm sure he wants to play some multiverses. Alright, crossing transition altitude. So our runway is right there, but we're hella high. At this point, I could fly it manually. Yeah, why don't we do that? We can go ahead and just fly this thing. Let's go ahead and give me a notch of flaps. And I'll just fly the whole thing manually. We're at 4,000. Give me a second notch of flaps. Alright, in the meantime, let's turn those on. 1, 2, 3. APU on. Alright. Yeah. Hit the right turn. Hit the landing gear. Full flaps. Alright. Still haven't picked up glide slope or anything.
2,500.
So I'm at 2,500 and I'm about 7 miles. Alright, so before landing, cabin crew is advised landing gear down, flaps are set for landing. My speed brakes are on, engine mode selectors as required, but it's on normal. Stereo lights are all on, go around altitude to 4,000 feet. It's set, I have the runway in sight. ECAM, no blue. And that's the after. There we go. And that's the before landing checklist. Right now I feel like I'm kind of low. Just a little low. But it's alright, we got this. We'll manually put her down. Alright. We got the runway at our 12 o'clock. About 5 miles. Can't believe I don't have an ILS for this. Got a localizer though.
1000.
Alright. Make some small adjustments. $900 off the ground.
400.
Seem a little high, but it's alright. I can make up for it.
300. 200.
That'd be a little high.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Woo, too much rudder.
5.
Alright. Maybe not. Let's go. We're just gonna get off. Woo! Alright. Flaps up. Disarm spoilers. T-cash off. Factory light. Random light. Wing light. Oh, in the grass. Alright. Factory is closed, so we gotta come around. Alright, so after landing, brake fans is required. I don't think we need. Nah, we look good. I did brake kind of hard, but it is what it is. They ain't smoking, so it's all good. Exterior lights are off. Spoilers disarmed and retracted. Flaps retracted. Engine mode selected normal. NTI is on. TCAS is standby. Weather radar is off. The windshield is off. And APU should be started. Which it is. Okay. So let's see here. Looking at the wrong thing. 18 minutes. Should be 2 left turns to get to the K gate. Crossing runway 26 left, 8 right. Ready to throw in some power. I probably should have went over to the next line, but it's all good. Second turn here. Add some power. Oh, sorry, Mike. Sorry, Mike. Always hitting this thing. Alright, so right around, not around this corner, but beyond the other end of this building here are the K gates. Alright, flight director go off. You could take this, I would say the first spot, but I guess it would be the second. Let's go inside. Ooh. Alright, let's try and slow it down a bit. And let's try and correct. Alright. Parking brake on, APU on, engine masters off, beacon light off. Seatbelt signs, they automatically come off. Let's go on a tablet and get the GPU charged cones. Alright. Got external power. And there we go. We have successfully, and in real time, do a to and from London with the turn time in between. Alright, so I also need to do this. Alright. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. My next flight, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, but this destination is that Air France will go, so I can log it and get credit for my virtual airline. But then I'm open for destination suggestions, so anytime you feel like throwing something out there, you can either send me a message or say it on stream or whatever, and it would be cool. But until then, I'll catch you on the next turn. Later.